Chandeliers, don't give hugs. This is the single most powerful truth about senior care I learned from my guest, Nickie DiFede. We're living in this sandwich generation, trying to raise our kids while caring for aging parents. It is a system that feels completely broken, confusing, and expensive. As an engineer, I've been spent my life fixing broken system in oil, tech, But Nikki, she fixes the system that matters most, our families. She told me that Google reviews can be fake, and a fancy lobby doesn't mean good care. You need boots on the ground. You need to know if the staff has heart, not just if the furniture is new. If you're navigating the guilt, the confusion, or the fear of what's next for mom and dad, you need to hear this episode. Catch the full vibe on the ValBVibes podcast. Let's bring the heart back into the system. Hello everyone, welcome back to ValBVibes. Today we're getting real about a topic basically that honestly and personally scare a lot of us. But it's also, I think it's one of the biggest industries right here in Florida, that is senior care. We all live in South Florida, we know the demographics, but beyond the numbers, I think that there are families trying to navigate a system that is confusing, expensive, and especially emotional, dramatic. So I believe this is a hard conversation for many of us, including myself. I have my family and my mom in Colombia, so this is also a little personal topic. Because we all have this idea that the good child keeps their parents at home forever. That's where at least the Latino mindset, and I'm not sure about the US, probably I had the expert who will clarify that. But my guest today says that might be the most dangerous myth in family life. So my guest today is Nickie DiFede. She's the owner and director of operations for CarePatrol here in Broward and Miami-Dade. She's a certified senior advisor and a certified Dementia? I'm sorry. Dementia practitioner. Basically, she's the expert you call when you don't know what to do with your mom and your dad. She helps families find safe senior living solutions, and she does it with the level of heart and rigor that this honestly requires, because we're talking about mom and dad. So also something that really caught my attention is we're going to talk about this Chandelier Effect. Because, you can trust Google, Yelp, all these platforms, reviews for go to eat or restaurants or in an hotel. But I don't think we should rely on Google reviews for nursing homes and that kind of concept. We really need to go deep into the research and basically put a professional to handle that. So, all right, let's get unplugged with Nickie DiFede.
Great. Thanks, Val, for introducing me. So I'll just say a little bit about myself. Yes, my name is Nickie DiFede. I am the owner of CarePatrol Broward and Miami-Dade. I am a longtime native Floridian, so born and raised in Miami. I've been living in Broward for the past 30 years. And the best thing about CarePatrol, you did say we help families find assisted living, but we are the boots on the ground. So I am the living, breathing source for people. So Google reviews are great. They give you some type of insight if they're real. But it's really important to know the makeup of the communities, who the caretakers are, the violations. It's a lot more than just a Google review, or as we're going to talk about, a chandelier when you talk. So that's where we really come in as the experts. We know how to navigate the system, and more importantly, we are in and out of these communities on a daily basis, and we intimately know how they take care of their residents, how they operate, who their staff is, and what their history of care is in that community, which is vital if you're going to place a vulnerable older adult in one of these communities.
So yeah, that's absolutely right. Nikki, welcome. Welcome to the Bites. I read your bio. I already said you're a certified senior advisor, certified dementia practitioner. So take us back. What led you to start and own a CarePatrol franchise? there a personal moment in your life that sparked that path or inspired you to do this, following this path?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've always been a do-gooder. I've always been a solution-driven person in my life since I was very, very young. So after working in corporate America and really making other businesses very successful, I decided to do something for my own. And I knew that what I wanted to do had to help people, because that's very important to the core of who I am. And it had to align with my ethics and my beliefs. So when I came upon CarePatrol, it was everything that I wanted it to be. And then I had a recent experience with my own father, who was at one of the best hospitals in South Florida. You would think everything would be done perfectly for him. And I wasn't in that world. I was in a different world at that time when he became sick. So kind of let other family members navigate it for me, but realized that there was just no help. There was no professional help. There was no one that I could call that I was given to say, help me navigate this. And it was after his passing that I realized there needs to be a me. There needs to be someone that you can call and say, my dad's in the hospital. He's suffering with this. What are our options? And I didn't have that. I was led down a different path at that time. So when CarePatrol was placed on my lap, I said, wow, obviously we live in South Florida. In Broward County alone, there's over 2 million residents. 60% of those are over the age of 65. So this population of needing help is there. And our social workers and our case managers, they're busy, right? We have huge hospitals with huge populations and they can't do everything. And that's kind of where they rely on us. So because we are the boots on the ground people, they rely on us for that expert information. So I like that. I like the fact that I could work in the community that I already know, work with people that I'm already familiar with, and really give people the confidence in knowing that the decisions they're making are the best decisions that they could make. Because again, going back to the chandelier thing, you can have a great salesperson who sells you on a community, but do you really know what happens behind those doors? And we're in South Florida. We see the news that happens and the shutdowns that occur. So it's my job to make sure that they're being given the best education and the best information possible to make that educated decision. So I take what I do really seriously, and I'm doing it because I feel like there was a void, and CarePatrol fills that void.
I also kind of like to clarify, because many people probably don't know what exactly is CarePatrol. Maybe when I hear the name, I assume, okay, this is a nursing home, but then I realize that you're actually the connector.
Correct. So we are a solution-based company. So in the old days, they would say we do placement. We don't use that word because we're never placing people somewhere. People have options. So what we do is someone calls me, their mom's in a crisis. She cannot be discharged home. She needs to go to an assisted living. We supply the family with educated information based on care needs, income, social. As you know, in South Florida, we have a huge melting pot. And so I get those phone calls all the time. Like, look, my mom was born and raised in Cuba. She wants a small care home that's licensed, that has great care staff, but she wants people that are going to be able to relate to her. And so that's what I know. That's where I come in. Great. Perfect. I have these locations. Here's 3 of them. Let's go tour them. So we're very, very hands-on. Those are the typical phone calls I get, is people looking for assisted living. But I also get phone calls. I need home health. I need options for hospice. I need physical therapy. Where do I go, Nikki? So I have my true and tried resources where these people I know are going to take care of the older adults the same way I would. So I like to say I'm a one-stop shop for senior resources. So if anybody has issues, I tell them just give me a call. So at the heart of what we do is that senior solution. And then the way that we get paid, people are always like, well, how does CarePatrol make money? We make money because we're compensated by the communities that we work with. So say one call might be, Nikki, I need your best hospice company. Fine, I'm going to go ahead and give you that information, give you some options. I don't make money on that. That's just me doing what I would do naturally anyways. I'm equipped with knowing who the great hospice companies are in this area. But the way that I get paid and how I pay the bills is when we do move someone into a community, much like a realtor gets a commission on a home, we get a commit on the placement that we do or the move-in that we do.
Nice. So basically you're saying that your business model, at the end of the day, is going to be free for families?
It is free for families. That's the best thing.
That's awesome.
Right. There is no charge, but I don't want free or no cost to equate to there's some underlying things going on. It's, again, CarePatrol, and this is nationwide. It's not just in South Florida. We are bound by a code of ethics. All of us are certified senior advisors. A lot of us have additional credentialing like the certified dementia practitioner. So we are invested. This is all we do. So I'm not a realtor and then I do senior living. I'm not a home health and I do senior living. This is all I do. Is I am a resource for my older adults. I help them find the best and safest living solution possible. Sometimes that could be assisted living. Sometimes that could be private duty home care. So it's really trying to figure out what the family needs and being guided by what's in the best interest of that person. And it's never a one size fits all. So in Broward County, we have over 250 licensed assisted living communities. In Miami-Dade, it's over 800. So it's a lot of homework that goes into what I do, knowing these communities, constantly monitoring their violation and care history with ACA, the governing agency in Florida over assisted livings, to make sure that there's no medication mismanagement that's happened, that there's no deficiencies, that I'm on top of what they're doing and how they're doing it.
You do a lot of vetting for these communities. What does Nickie DiFede inspection look like? What are you looking in general? What are the most red flags and green lights for, say, this is the place?
Absolutely. That's a great question because it happens all the time where I'm touring with a client, because I do meet my clients in person and tour these communities with them. And they'll tell me, Nikki, why didn't you show me? I Googled and there's a location that's 3 blocks from my mom. Why didn't you show me that? Now, that was a real story. It happened in Miami-Dade. And I said, tell me the name of the place. I said, because if it's not on my radar, it's because they didn't pass my first step. So the first thing I do is I go to the state of Florida, to the ACA website, and I look at the care and violation history. If I log into that site and I see that they've recently had 63 pages of violations, or they've had 5 complaints in the past 6 months, guess what? I'm not even looking at them. Not even a consideration. I'm going to have to wait on them for another 6 months, or I'm going to have to go to the community to find out what's happened. Because we have so many choices, we're privileged enough that I don't have to consider only one option. So that's the first step, is going to the state site, looking at their care and violation history. If they pass that with me, the second step I do is I go into the community, meet with the executive director, meet with the sales director, meet with the director of nursing, and do a tour myself. Before any clients come in, I want to see what they have to offer. I'm also keeping my eyes open. I'm keeping my eyes open for the names on the door. A lot of times that's going to tell me if I have someone who says, Nikki, I want a really Hispanic residence in this home. I can just look at the names on the door and know who those residents might be. I can kind of get a picture of them, which is good because that's important to a lot of my clients. I'm also talking to the director of nursing. I'm in the smaller homes. I'm asking them questions like, what is an ideal resident for you? And resident would not be a good fit for your community. We do know there are state guidelines, but beyond the state guidelines, there's also the smaller residential homes have preferred people that they might want. And when I say preferred, I mean they might want people who are a little bit older, who don't need and seek large activities, because in a smaller residential home, you're not going to have that. So again, when I'm doing these walkthroughs, I'm asking the questions, I'm finding out about who their ideal residents are, because my goal is always to match them with the best fit first and not continue to move an older adult. Every time someone who's older is moving from place to place, they're deteriorating, and we don't want that. I want the best fit the first time. So by asking the right questions, by doing the inspections, finding out what kind of foods they have, do they offer a kosher option? That's a very common question. So finding out these different options that they have allow me to better make a better fit and recommendation to my families. So ACA, first thing. Second thing, going out to private tours. Then I'm touring with the families. Once I have a client that has decided on a community, I'm constantly going out there to check in on my clients, see if the community is doing what they're supposed to be doing, and seeing if the care is there. Because you can have a great care and violation history. I could do the tour and everything can look great and shiny, but I want to make sure that now my clients moved in, are you holding up to what was promised? And the only way to do that is by going out and checking in on the client, checking in with the families. Are they happy? Is everything that you had hoped for there? Is there anything that's lacking? And if it is, I go back out to the community and address that with, it could be activities, it could be the food. That's usually the biggest complaint. It could be anything, but I am the advocate for my older adult. And so it doesn't end with me on move-in. It continues beyond that because this is my job. This is my livelihood. I want to make sure that my clients are in the best situation possible. And if something comes up with that community, I need to make sure that the family is aware. So it's being very transparent, very open about what I do and how I do it. That's really a game changer for this industry and for myself, because not everybody does what I do or what CarePatrol does. We operate the same nationwide, so it makes it really easy. If I have a client that wants to move to Michigan, I know that the CarePatrol in Michigan is going to take care of them just the same way I do. And so that's a nice thing about the CarePatrol model, the business model and the franchise model, is that we follow the same ethics. We follow the same way of doing business. So they are also doing personalized tours, going out there to pre-vet the communities. They're doing the same follow-ups. So it makes it nice.
I love that business model. Is basically a due diligence oriented type of business model. I love that business model.
Yes. And more than like just business and corporate, it's just when you meet people, and we do meet up with our fellow owners of CarePatrol once a year. I meet up with the whole entire country. And then once a year, I meet up with my state and all the people who own the CarePatrols in the state. It's nice to see that, yes, it's a good business model. However, it's also the people doing this have a heart. Because a lot of what we do is pro bono, right? A lot of what we do is free. We're giving them, maybe they can't afford assisted living. Maybe they need to get on Medicaid. So just walking them through, this is who you contact to get on, say, the Florida Med waiver. These are your different resources. So one of my, I would say probably half of all my calls is regarding nursing homes. I don't move people into nursing homes, but do I educate them on what the nursing homes look like, the care that they provide? And then again, what the state is responding back to me as far as how they're taking care of their residents. They do it on a star system. Yes, I have that as a PDF document. I send that out to the families and I say, look at the rating system and then call me. When you want to make a decision, call me. I'll give you firsthand knowledge of what that nursing home really looks like. Again, that's all pro bono. That's just because I would want that person for my family. So I'm doing that so they're making a good decision and not something that they regret.
Yeah, you're really advocate. So it's admirable. I appreciate what you're doing. It's really, we need more people like you doing this.
Thank you. And there are a lot.
Columbia, please.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I was just had this conversation with one of my referral partners. There are a lot of good people in this industry, and it's knowing who those good eggs are and connecting with them that really make us different. Because if your heart's not in it and you're only in this for a financial gain, then you're not going to last long. Not in this industry. Yeah, you're not going to last.
Not going to work. Yeah. So, So, also that I want to know, you're a certified, oh my God, this word, dementia practitioner. I kind of want to know a little bit more about this because it's such a specific area. And I think there is a lot of misconception about what dementia means, especially for families. So if you can walk through a little bit about the meaning and how you deal with those situations when dad or mom has unfortunately fall into the dementia pattern.
Right. So remember, dementia is a large umbrella for it. Could be Alzheimer's, it could be vascular, could be Lewy body. So by having the certified dementia practitioner certification, I know the differences. I know what to look for. And then the most importantly is how to talk to both the families and that person who's dealing with dementia, right? So we know how to make transitions easier for them and not harder. We know how to make a move from, a family home into a memory care easier and painless, because for the families, this is a big deal. And probably about 60% of the people I work with with the families, it's because the family member has dementia and they're either living alone or they're living with a spouse that can no longer care for them. So it's important to look and educate the family on what the difference is even between memory care and assisted living, because not everybody that has a diagnosis of dementia or Alzheimer's needs memory care. It's very different. So some people just throw that term out. Oh, they have dementia, they need memory care. Nope, stop, time out. They might not. They might flourish and really do great in an assisted living type environment. So you have to ask the right questions. Has mom or dad, do they try to leave the house? Do they do dangerous things like put metal in a microwave? Try to, light candles, different things. So we're asking the questions to try to do the best fit. So knowing what dementia is, how that certain dementias progress, by having that certification, I can help to educate the families. So again, that they're making the best decision for their loved one, and then letting them know. Oftentimes I have families wanting to be right with their loved ones that have dementia. And I tell them you could do just a little white lie and it helps them. So if they want to, if it's helping them by telling them, look, we're going to stay in this hotel for a couple of weeks. I'm going on vacation. And we'll see you when we get back. That little place could be assisted living. If we know that they're going to be safe and cared for, but we know that they're going to be adverse to assisted living, let them know, Mom, this is just temporary. Let's get you in here. You're going to get your meals. It's just like being on a cruise ship on land. You're going to be taken care of. We're going to go on a little trip. When we come back, we'll talk about it. That eases their mind because people with dementia can be very, very anxious. So by telling them that little white lie, letting them get adjusted to the assisted living, letting them get adjusted to the routine, it helps in the transition. And so it's really important for me to know what dementia looks like, how it can progress, and advising the families on the same so that we can help them through this transition. And really helping those caregivers, so whether the caregiver is a son or a daughter or a spouse, letting them know that continuing the pattern of caregiving can sometimes be detrimental to the caregiver's health. And that's really important. If you have 85-year-old mom trying to take care of 89-year-old dad that's suffering from dementia, which might mean trying to pick him up off the floor when he slides down off the couch and doing things like that, or he's sundowning, so he's awake all night, which means mom's not getting sleep. Yeah, there's a real effect to that. And there's a real effect to the caregiver burnout and what happened. So it's important to get the whole family on board, understand what dementia means, what the progression means, and try to make the best decision, help them make, and give them the tools to make the best decision for them.
Wow. And I want to touch another topic. Thanks God I'm not there yet. My mom is not there yet. But I know we as a family with my siblings, we will need to make that decision. But when I was talking about the fact that just the thought of seeking assisted living for my mom, I feel like a guilt feeling because moving a parent out of their home equal to giving up. That's the conception I had. So let us know a little bit what is the real meaning. What did you say to a son or a daughter who feels like basically they're giving up just for seeking assisted living for their mom and dad?
Right. So back in the day, it would be very traditional, whether it's a Hispanic family, Italian family, Jewish family, you're going to take care of your parents. However, we are now in this sandwich generation so I'm in my 50s. I have my parents or my mom and, she's in her 70s. She's aging. I have kids in college and I have a full-time job. So I can't be the caretaker for my parents. And I'm not alone in this. This is why they call it the sandwich generation. Older adults find themselves stuck. They don't have the luxury of being home all day. They're trying to take care of kids who could be middle school, high school, parents who are aging in a full-time job. You can't do it all. So the first thing I tell them is, get out of your head nursing home. Assisted living is not nursing home. You can go to these beautiful, beautiful places that we have now. They look like you're walking into, Royal Caribbean cruise ship. So it's not white wall and nurses walking around with, white gowns and you're hearing screaming and stuff. No, that's not what assisted living is. Assisted living is a social model with care as needed. So no one needs to know that mom maybe needs help showering, need help getting dressed in the morning. That happens in your own independent apartment where someone comes in and they provide those services to you. Then maybe the rest of the day you go on and you're playing cards with your friends, you're eating in the restaurant because everything's restaurant style with a restaurant menu. You're not being shoved food like you would in a nursing home. So it's a social model with care as needed. The care could be very little. It could be that they just can no longer cook, so they just might need the meals every day. One of the most common reasons that people look at assisted living is medication management. So if you have something like Parkinson's, or if you suffer from high blood pressure, diabetes, you need to get those medications on time as needed and monitored. So a lot of times that becomes overwhelming for an older adult, and it becomes overwhelming for the family members to try to manage because, yes, we can try to set timers on our phone for them. Mom, time to take medication. They could take a nap. They could forget. So by telling them you will be a better son or a better daughter, having someone manage this for you is what empowers them, because they need to go back to being the son, the daughter, the spouse, not the caretaker. Because what ends up happening with caretakers is undoubtedly there's going to be some resentment. There's going to be some fighting, right? You have a strong-willed parent and a strong-willed child. You don't want that. You want to go back to being the loving daughter, the loving son, the loving spouse. And so this allows the older adult who's suffering, who can't take care of themselves, to live their best life and get the care that they need while allowing the family members to continue to be son, daughter, spouse. And remember, assisted living, you're not locked down. This is not a hospital. I have people who live in assisted living that are going on week cruises with their children. They'll try to pick them up twice a week so they can go out for lunch. So you're not locked in, right? You can go, even in memory care, it's a secure unit, but you can go and enjoy a dinner with your family, a vacation with your family. So it's not a lockdown where you're never coming out. This is living your best life. And like I said, there's some gorgeous communities. We have communities that overlook the ocean, communities on the intercoastal, communities that have everything you can imagine, happy hours every day, a bar. You can live your best life, but as you get older and you might need help and you can't have your adult children help you, this is why they created this assisted living. So it's care as needed, but the focus is on social, whereas nursing home, less focus on social, more focus on medical. But that's not what assisted living is.
Yeah, I'll send this to my mom.
Yes,
She needed
right.
it.
But it's not. The first thing I do is say, Val, let's go pick up your mom and show her, because her perception is probably from a 1980s perspective.
Yeah.
And that's not what assisted living is. You're really walking in and you're like, wow, this is assisted living. Yes, they have a full bar and they have a pool and they have racquetball court, whatever you may like in order for you to live your best life. And of course, it can be as small as a 1,500 square foot residential care home where you're really going to get a lot of care with the social aspect, or it can be a large 300 room community that has everything from A to Z. I mean, they're living their best life. Like, it's not, I don't have people in assisted living that are saying they don't have anything to do. So they have, every day they're going out to different places. They're going to the Broward Center for the Performing Arts to see the theater, but they're doing it in a way that makes sense. They don't have to drive to these places anymore. They have daily trips to Publix or Trader Joe's or the mall if that's what they want. So they can still do those things they enjoy, but in a way that makes sense and that's safe for them, so that the family no longer has to worry or take on that burden.
Yeah. So I imagine that a lot of people call you after some of them fall or in hospital stay. So
Right.
if we could rewind the clock, what are the early signs to say, hey, it's time to start looking?
Well, obviously after a fall that's probably 80% of all my phone calls, or someone's in a hospital, they've had a fall, and this is the fall that's going to take them into assisted living because it's a broken hip, it's a broken bone. They just can't be safe at home anymore. They haven't had modifications to the home to make it safe. I have it in my own. I just had my own aunt slipped and fell, broke her knee. She can't go back home. She cannot. She doesn't have the modifications at home to get into her bathroom safely. So some of the signs that we see are with the dementia. So we'll talk about some of our dementia clients when they're walking out of their home and they don't know how to go back. They're making unsafe decisions by putting, and these are just things because they just recently happened, putting food in the microwave, but instead of pushing 1 minute, they've pushed 10 minutes, right? So now you have a fire. Leaving things on the stove. So things like that. I don't want it to come to the point where the house is on fire. Now you realize that you need help. Some of the other things that I always say is that when you see mom and say mom was always one that had her makeup was done, her outfit was perfect, and you go to the house and the makeup's not there, the hair is in disarray, the clothes aren't matching, something's going on. So we don't want to wait till mom makes that decision that's not safe to move them. That's when you need the conversation. Like, mom maybe it's taking her longer to get home from the grocery store, and you ask her why. I took a wrong turn, but she's made this trip 100 times. That's when the conversations really should be happening, when they're unsafe. Obviously, after a fall, oftentimes after a loved one dies. So it's common that you have families, couples who are in their 90s, and the husband might have taken care of everything for the loved one, always paid the bills, always did everything in the home. Now you have a wife that's never paid a bill a day in her life. She's never written any checks out, doesn't know how to manage a house. So now she finds herself in a 3,500 square foot house and just can't manage this big house alone. That house isn't for her. It's time to have the conversation. Let's look at assisted living. It doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean you're giving up your independence. Quite the opposite. You're gaining independence by having things like your laundry done, your housekeeping done for you, your medication being managed. You don't have to worry about that. And oftentimes in assisted living, all the doctors are coming to you. So that's usually when I meet with an older adult, they're showing me their calendar. Look, Nikki, I have 15 appointments this month. In those assisted living communities, the doctors can oftentimes come to you. So you don't have that stress anymore of how am I going to get to the doctor? Who am I going to call? Who am I going to ask? The doctors are coming to you. So it kind of makes it worry-free living. But looking at signs like parents getting lost, not eating. If you notice weight loss, that's a big one, a really, really big one with my older adults. Yeah. If you go to visit mom and you're like, Mom, did you have lunch? And you see that they're losing weight, don't wait. Don't wait until they become dehydrated, have a horrible UTI and they're hospitalized, that you're like, hey guys, I've noticed the signs. Have those conversations ahead of time.
Yeah, many things that we actually don't consider. They're living through that they just say that everything is fine until it's not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Everything's fine, but they've lost another 10 pounds, right? Everything's fine, but the cat's looking thinner and thinner. And are you remembering to feed the cat? I just had that situation where I went over to a home to talk to the family. I looked at the cat and the cat was quite thin. And I said, when was the last time you fed it? It happens. It's true. When was the last time you fed the cat? Oh, I feed her every day, but the water bowl is bone dry. I don't see any signs of food. So, that's forgetfulness, and it happens. And we don't want to ever humiliate or make an older adult feel badly about what they're doing. We just need to know, you know what? Like, the house might be too big. Like, Mom, why don't we get you in a situation where you can do the things you enjoy? But we know for our peace of mind that they're being taken care of, that they're getting checked on as needed, getting the medication as needed, getting the refills. A lot of my older adults are, because they're in a lot of pain, they're on painkillers. And maybe sometimes they catch themselves over giving themselves too much, right? So what happens then? I'll tell you what happens, because these are the phone calls I get. They've taken too much painkillers. They're not due for their refill until another 2 weeks. And now what's going to happen to them? They're going to be 92 years old going through withdrawals from opioids because they're on a painkiller that they need for their back, for their osteoporosis, whatever they may have. They can't get the pain medication refilled because of the fact that it's monitored. And now imagine being an older adult going through withdrawals. So if they were in assisted living, that wouldn't happen. They would be given their pain medication as prescribed, as needed, and they would never run out, and they would never be in pain, and they never would have to go through that. So those are the type of things that I oftentimes get phone calls about. So it's really making sure that they're safe and they're being monitored and doing things that are going to have them live their longest, best life, not shorten their life because of things like this.
Yeah, quite important. So, Nikki, I want to talk a little bit more about the business side of you. You already talk about you as a person, and you're amazing. That's the definition. So in terms of business, run a business is hard. I really know about that.
Right.
So you're also not running a business. You're also dealing with families in crisis. How do you manage that, the emotional?
Yes, emotionally, I have the tool that I use myself is that if I have a family member in crisis, this is not me. So yes, this is their family in crisis, but this is their crisis, not mine. And so I need to put my emotions to the back burner and say, I need to solve the problem for them, and their crisis and their emotions can't be mine. Otherwise, I'm going to be clouded by the decisions I need to make for them. That I learned years and years ago when I was working in the pediatric field with heavy autism population, is that these parents, this is 17-year career I had in pediatrics, these parents are coming to me with problems that are greater than mine. So that's the same attitude that I take with my families who come with their family members, their loved ones. Their problems are greater than mine right now. And I need to be solution driven and be uber focused on what I need to do for them to help them so I can check out my emotions and not let it get the best of me. I think I'm just built that way. So I am I'm just solution driven. So I think if you're overly emotional, this business would not be for you. Now remember, when I'm dealing business-wise with families, it's not just one son or daughter. There's probably 4 siblings and an aunt and an uncle. Everyone wants to have their opinion. So one of the hardest things I have to do is just have everyone on the same playing field. This is what we have a goal. This is our goal. A family member to the safest place possible. How are we going to do this? So you have the care aspect of it, the financial aspect of it for the families, and then they all need to check their emotional baggage out, because I hear all the time about this son did this and this one doesn't do that. Fine. Let's end all that now, because your mom needs to be in a good place, and how are we going to get there? So I don't really have any issues with the emotional side. I am guide doing what's right always, and I check the emotions out. I won't say that I don't get emotional in my own quiet, private time. In this industry, there's times where I'll be working with a client and the client passes away. And there could be, I had a 4-week period where 6 of my clients passed away. That gets to you, but that makes me sad, but I'm sadder for the families that are dealing with it. It's not I guess the way I try to check it into my head is, it's not my time to be sad. That's not my mom or dad. Be focused on, okay, solution driven for the family. What can I do to continue to help them through this transition? So whether it be a transition of the person's past, and how can I help guide them with that? I'm again focused on that business aspect of it. Put your business cap on, not your emotional cap. Get them through it, and you'll deal with your emotions later. I also, from a business standpoint, keep myself super duper busy, so I don't allow myself to be introspective and sit and dwell on what's happening. I have so many moving parts on a daily basis that's what I have to be focused on. I also couldn't do this if I had younger kids at home. My kids are older, so my entire focus right now is on the business. It's not on raising children or trying to do other things. It's just being focused for my clients. I could not sit in this seat where I'm at right now with a 3 and a 5-year-old. Impossible, couldn't happen. So I think that helps me keep my emotions in check. This is what I need to do, but it's because my emotions aren't being pulled in 10 other directions.
Yeah, that's hard, and especially because you have a big territory. You have Broward and Miami-Dade, and I mean South Florida is considered the best place to retire. How do you manage operation across this busy area you handle?
Right. So I do have people that assist me. So I do have a business partner, John. He's bilingual. He assists me with any of if they are Hispanic speaking only, then they're going to deal with him. I do kind of manage the overall operations. I have it in my head that I'm always right and I know what's best. So I have my hands on every single case that I do, but I do have support staff that helps me with the phone calls that comes in and to help me try to manage some of that, just the daily phone calls. But in the end, when I have a client, ultimately everything that happens with that client gets passed through me, because this is my name on the line, my reputation, and I want to make sure that it's done properly. But do I have people who help me do tours? Absolutely. I have people that can go and help me do tours. I have a call center that helps answer the phones when I'm with a family, my phone will be turned off and I'm dealing with that family. So I do have, CarePatrol has a call center. I utilize that for times when I know I can't pick up the phone. So I do have support staff in that, but I work 17 hours a day. I work till 1 o'clock in the morning. That's when I manage myself. I'm meeting with my clients from 8 in the morning till about 6 o'clock. It's all client related. And then after 6 o'clock, I'm doing the emails. I'm doing the other things that can take up time, but that are still important.
It's a very, very complete business. You cover all operations. So it's nice because this area, I imagine it should be a lot of people seeking for care. So, Nikki, what's the one thing you want our listener, because we're getting close to the closing of the podcast. So what's the one thing you want everyone to take away today?
So from the supportive CarePatrol side, the message I want to give is something that you touched on. Chandeliers don't give hugs. Don't walk into a place thinking that it's a gorgeous chandelier and it's going to be the best place. Chandeliers don't give hugs. You need to know the staff. The only way that you know the type of care is by engaging with someone like myself or any of those trusted people who are boots on the ground, living the life of senior advisors. So we're going in and we're knowing the communities. That's number one, is really having trust in who you do and seeing what their motivation is. My motivation is always by doing what's right all the time, regardless of any financial gain that I have. And I've proven that over and over again. I'm really in it for the community that I live in and that I've been a part of for 53 years. So that's the community side, is just understand that Google reviews can be fake. Big companies that advertise on TV are not living in the same city that you're living in. So it's having a trusted senior advisor. That's the number one. That's for the CarePatrol. And if someone's going through this, have someone who you can trust. Ask them what their credentials are. Ask them how long they've been doing this. Ask them how they actually operate. That's number one. Business side is you have to love what you do and have a passion and a drive for it. If you are motivated by income, the income will never come because people will see right through that. So I help all people regardless of whether they can afford me or not. So whether they can afford assisted living or not, they're going to get my help. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. So if you're in this business because you see that the model, you can make millions and millions, you can. But if your heart's not in this and you're not driven by doing what's right, then this industry is absolutely not for you and you're going to be called out for that. So I think it's really important that if you're getting into a care industry, that you really are passionate about what you do and you have a why. My biggest why is, again, doing what's right all the time. And then I saw what happened with my own father years ago, and I don't want that to happen to anyone else. So that is my why, is by doing that. Business, you need a strong staff and you need people who are going to be accountable and work with the same ethics that you do. So I can train someone to do a job. I can train someone to do what they're supposed to be doing. But if their heart's not in it, then they're not the right person for me. And that takes some time to build a good team of compassionate and passionate people. And that's sometimes hard to find, especially in South Florida, where it's very expensive to live here. Everyone needs a certain salary, but are they really going to do the work that's needed? So from a business standpoint, that's one of the hardest things that I come from. But again, finding someone who has the compassion and the same passion as you and ethic is great.
Nikki, where can people find you if they need help navigating this transition? What is the best way to search for you and communicate with you or your team?
Thanks so much, Val, for asking. So if you're in the South Florida area and you just go to carepatrol.com, you enter in your zip code, my name's going to pop up. It's going to pop up 3 different times because I work in all of South Florida. So it's by territories. I have all of South Florida. That's how you can find a CarePatrol anywhere near you. If you are out of state and you're hearing this and you want to connect directly with me, you can connect on my personal cell, which is 954-380-8780. Comes directly to me. And I like to try to answer my phone within 30 minutes of a phone call. So if you call, just leave a message and I'll get you. Otherwise, you can go through the website, send me an email, and I'll reply immediately. But I'm here to help people in this community. So if people have questions or they're even thinking, hey, this is maybe something I want to do, give me a call. I love to be able to help educate people and know what I know. Because that's the golden thing. Everyone always says, I wish I knew now. I wish I knew then what I know now. Hindsight's 2020. So I'd love to be able to help anyone, whether navigate this industry or for themselves or navigate help for their family members.
Okay, Nikki, thank you so much. And I
You're
think this is such a vital service because safety at the end of the day is a form of love. So, and especially when it's about mom and dad. So, guys, if you're navigating this with your parents too, well, not too, I'm not, thanks God, not yet. So, or you know you will be soon, thanks to all the recommendations of and red flags and alarms that Nikki gave us to us. Do not do it alone. Reach out, Nikki, if you're listening to this on South Florida, or search for CarePatrol if probably you're in a different territory. Link the Nikki. Do you have LinkedIn, right?
Yes.
We will link your LinkedIn profile so people can connect with you directly, and obviously the CarePatrol site in the notes and the description. As always, if you love this episode, share it with a friend, with your family, especially in my case, I have to translate, but I'll totally share it with my mom because she has a really different perspective, and my uncles and my aunts and everyone at home. So yeah, they have a really, and even myself, I had a really different perspective, and you really changed the way I'm seeing this industry. So thank you so much, and thank you everyone. Building, keep caring, and stay vibe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.